Welcome to another Bachelor News Live. From all of the fallout after Shanae threw the trophy, the crew went to Toronto, Canada, and the start of an epic 2-on-1 date. We have so much to get into on last night's episode. And as always, I'm your host, Zachary Reality, joined by Fiona Zering and Mariah Davis. Guys, how are you doing? It's been a minute since we've all been here together. So what are your thoughts on the season and last night's episode? And how are y'all doing?
Oh my goodness. I'm doing well. I'm so excited to be here. I feel like we're going to have so much fun today. We have not got to talk this season all together yet. I just have no words for Shanae, you guys. I can't. I'm just shook by her.
I'm with you. I was excited when I found out we were all going to be doing this together because I was like, we can all just go on and on and on about Shanae. And I don't want this to be a trash sesh on her, but I have a lot to say.
You do. Mariah, do you know how to Shanae? Can you do the whip and the nay-nay?
What is that? No. Teach me.
It's a dance. It's a dance. You go watch me whip, watch me nay-nay. Fiona, have you heard of
it? Oh, yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that either.
We'll be doing dance nay-nays on TikTok, so find us on there. But I want to remind everyone to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We're going to have so much fun today talking about The Bachelor. We're about halfway through the season, so things are just starting to pick up and get good. And picking up where we left off last week, it was finally time for Serene to get her one-on-one date. Clayton rented out the entire pier in Galveston, Texas, as the two spent the day together riding rides, playing games, and during the night portion of the date, Serene opened up about her difficult past, losing her grandmother and her cousin, and she was raised by a single mom, so she spent a lot of time with her grandmother growing up. Let's go down the line here. What do you guys think of Serene, the date? Do we think her and Clayton have, a connection? Fiona, why don't we start with you?
I thought the whole thing was very sweet. I totally like her. I thought they had a nice time. I thought the date was really cute, but I didn't see fireworks. I feel like it was all good, not that memorable. I think she's really cute. I like her a lot, and I think that she could hit it off with someone who isn't Clayton, potentially a little bit better than she hit it off with Clayton. I know she was really happy with the date, and she said she, felt the butterflies, or however she put it. Obviously, they seem to see a connection there. But just like someone watching at home, I feel like I have seen sparks fly on other dates more than they did here, but you never know where things will go.
Anyone specifically that you think he's vibing with more?
Rachel.
Yeah, I see that. I can see that. Mariah, what do you think of Serene?
I love Serene, but I completely agree with everything Fiona said. I'm just thinking there is someone who has been a part of the Bachelor franchise in some capacity that I feel would be better for her. Yes, it looked like they had a great time together, but when we're talking about someone that is just meant to be your forever person, the person you spend the rest of your life with, sparks are supposed to be flying. During her private interviews, I just wasn't seeing that excitement from her when she was talking about her date. I'm like, if you're really, really, really into someone and you're having the best time of your life, you are animated, you're so excited. And I do understand that everyone behaves differently. I don't know Serene well enough to know if she's an introvert, an extrovert. Maybe she was just a little shy on camera, but I just didn't see magic within their date.
Yeah. I feel that. I mean, I just think Serene is too good for Clayton. She's so classy. She's so elegant. She has a very wise, rapport about her. And I'm surprised to even see her on reality TV. I just don't know if that's her thing. I have a lot of respect for Serene, and I hope that she goes pretty far. I think she will. And I mean, you guys brought it up. There are other options in the Bachelor bubble. So if she is looking to go to Paradise after this, if she doesn't win, if she's not the Bachelorette, then I definitely think that we will see her, be a hot commodity in Paradise, because she's good. She has a resume, a resume as in she is just very, what's the word when you're intriguing, there's just something about her. And we know that she is from the pageant worlds. And Mariah, we were talking about this before we came on live. Why do you think they cast so many pageant girls on The Bachelor? Because you were a pageant girl yourself.
I think I go all over the place with why. I think they seek out these women because more times than not, these women are so down to be on TV. And I'm not saying that's because they're superficial and surface level, but maybe they're looking for other ways to kind of launch themselves forward into a new direction. Now, I will say, from knowing Susie personally, knowing Serene personally, though it's been a long time since I've seen her or spoken with her, they're not the type of people who are just out seeking fame or clout. I think they are looking for love. However, personally, I don't see Serene finding love with Clayton. I know we've seen promos of her saying that she's in love. I don't know about that. But I think producers or, casting agents seek out pageant women because they think that they're going to be down. They're kind of well spoken. They're good on camera. They're nice to look at. Like, there's a multitude of reasons, I'm sure. And you know what? Whether they do pageants or whether they haven't ever done a pageant, sometimes you get an individual who is all about the drama and is really feisty. And so maybe they think a pageant queen will like stir the pot. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we have 3 pageant girls this season, maybe even more, because I know Sarah, Susie, Serene, there might be a couple more, but we're not getting that, like, Hannah and Kaylin dynamic where they were fighting a lot. And Fiona, we were also talking about the fact that there doesn't seem to be a lot of drama between the girls this season. It just seems like it's Shanae versus everybody. Why do you think that is this season? Why aren't all the girls fighting? Are they just, like, above it all, or are the producers not pushing it? What are your thoughts?
I feel like a lot of the girls this season do seem very mature, and a lot of them kind of strike me as like a little more soft-spoken, like they're not the type to seek out confrontation. And I feel like that's almost made it hard for me to like, who's who, like what are their names? Like there's not a lot of extremely fiery personalities. Just in general, we've got a couple, but I feel like these girls are very mature, and I think that when you have someone as intense as Shanae, it is easy for everyone else to just take a back seat because you just want to avoid that tornado at all costs. So you're playing it safe and you're not trying to ruffle any feathers. I'm curious to see, will some other, dynamics pop up once Shanae is gone? Because it feels like she's just taking up all the room for negativity. And it's easy for people to bound together against a common enemy, right? So I think right now, there's a lot of effort to keep the peace. And there are a lot of mature girls. I don't want to take that away. And I think we'll see some more drama start to pop up once she's gone.
Yeah, I think so too. I agree. I think there's a lot of mature girls who are just not interested in getting involved. And we're going to get into this Mara and Sarah beef in a little bit because at least there was something else going on. But you're right. It has been the Shanae show. It's been all about what Shanae's doing. She's getting the most airtime, the most time with Clayton, it seems like, as well. And fast forward to the rose ceremony because Serene ended up getting, the rose on their one-on-one date. Clayton pulled the winning girls from last week's group date aside to talk to them about what happened with Shanae because she crashed last week's group date. She threw the trophy in the pond, and the girls, led by Sierra, explained that it was very unacceptable and that they're tired of it. They had enough. And we even saw Teddy speak about it, and we saw what happened with Shanae where she had to kind of apologize and explain to Clayton what was really going on. Mariah, what did you make of that move, bringing those girls and Shanae and the whole, cocktail party? What did you think of it?
Him pulling the girls aside to talk to them about it?
Yeah, and Shanae's apology. Like, what did you think about all of it?
Okay. So I love that he pulled them aside. They kind of reminded me of Michelle's season when there was, I honestly blocked out his name because he was like the first
Jamie.
and worst villain ever. Jamie, when she called him out in front of everyone because there's always this he said, she said type situation. And she was just like, is this the situation that's going on right now in front of everybody? I mean, granted, I remember being so frustrated because nobody spoke up, but I was waiting for him to do something similar. Like, let's quit all this back and forth. You're wasting all your one-on-one time with these women talking about this woman. I mean, and you're not even listening to anything that they're saying because you're being so easily manipulated by one individual. So I like that he finally did that because it's like, we all love occasional drama. It's entertaining, okay? Like, that's also a
Mhm.
reason we're tuning in. It's not just the love and the connections, but after a while, it gets so tedious. It's like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm tired of this person. It's honestly crazy to see someone behave this way, and it's a little scary to think that there are people out there who literally put on a acting performance with your feelings involved. So I love that he did this. I don't know if he's going to end up listening to these women. I think Shanae's apology, like, when I saw the tears, I was like, oh, brother, did you go stand in a corner to like think of like puppies dying or something to like work up that kind of emotion? And then it just got under my skin so bad to see her private interview about how that was a performance of a lifetime, because these women were like,
Mhm.
I appreciate your apology. And they took it, and they, even though she didn't deserve it, they accepted it and were so like respectful to her. I'm just ready for her to go.
Yeah, I loved her apology though, because I thought it was genuine at the time. I was like, wow, she's saying all the right things. She's owning up to it. She's showing emotion. She said it's gone on far too long, which I really thought was like the perfect thing to say. And it felt like she was going to move forward. And then when we saw her in her confessionals or ITMs, it was just like she wasn't being real and she was making a mockery of it. So I don't know if she was truly acting or maybe she's acting for the interview bites, but it does seem like it's getting out of hand and it's not really entertaining anymore. Something I love about a villain on The Bachelor is when there's a feud. Like Elizabeth, Shanae, like that's interesting because it's like, whose side are you on? And I felt like if we had a feud going on, and maybe we'll get that with Genevieve, then it would be more interesting because then you can root for one person. But in this show, in this situation, it just seems like Shanae is doing all of this and the women are just trying to like put her in her place but hold her accountable. Mariah, do you really feel like Clayton likes Shanae? Do you think they have a connection and that's why he's keeping her here? Or do you think the producers are just kind of playing this like a fiddle?
It's hard for me to see a connection. I mean, I feel like she tells him everything that someone would want to hear. So, yeah, looking at one side of it, maybe he's actually manipulated by her and thinks like she's so cute and sweet and misunderstood. But also, I don't know if we're going to cover this, but there was a TikTok made by Zachary, you're going to know who this is. I'm forgetting her
Lindsay.
name. Lindsay. And
Yeah,
she
yeah.
kind of made us believe that Clayton knew what was going on. He knew more than he kind of acted like he knew. So that kind of makes me think maybe this was producer play and they wanted to keep a villain around a little bit longer because, like we've already touched on, there's not a lot of feuds going between the women. I mean, for the
Mhm.
most part, the only source of drama is coming from Shanae. So maybe they wanted to keep her on for a little more drama.
Yeah, and we're gonna play Lindsay's TikTok in just a second, but Shanae apologized to Clayton and he ends up saving her. And then we see Sierra go home and Jill go home and Lindsay go home. Fiona, how frustrating was it to see Sierra go home? Because what did you think of her? I felt like she was a powerhouse this season.
Oh, I totally liked her. I was really actually sad to see all of those women go home. And I was super, super frustrated to see her stay because I agree. I think there is a lot of producer play going on. It's something we've talked about a lot, that there is a close relationship between producers and the lead. And, they're
Mhm.
probably saying, hey, keep this girl. Like, just do us a solid and keep this girl. I firmly believe that there are some handshake agreements going on behind the scenes. And that's all fun and games. Like, that is reality TV. This is why we are tuning in. But she feels like she's manipulating successfully the entire plot of the season. She's sitting in her confessional saying, I got this girl sent home.
Mhm.
I just got another girl sent home. I
I
have
know.
Clayton. Like, she's talking about like literally running the ship, and that's too far. That's not a villain. That's like, just bring her behind the scenes and make her a producer at this point, because you're letting her control everything. So I was really sad to see
Yeah.
those women go because they felt like collateral. Like, it's too much.
Hmm. Yeah, and one thing I'll share with our viewers and you guys listening is that I have a friend who was on the show who was a villain. I'm not going to say names. And she told me that the producers used to tell her to do outlandish things, like villain
Mm-hmm.
things, and that she would get extra time. She would be rewarded with the lead, with the Bachelor, because she did those crazy things. So maybe Shanae is being an actress because she's getting rewarded with extra airtime and extra time with Clayton. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was that element. I don't think Shanae is completely crazy, and I don't think she's completely this ridiculous throwing trophies. Like, I feel like a lot of this is producer prompted, but I'm excited to see what happens at the Women Tell All because a lot of the girls have problems with Shanae and Clayton, and I think it's going to come to a head. Let's talk about Lindsay's TikTok. We have it here. We're going to play it for you guys. This got a lot of people talking, sparked a lot of waves. She is calling out Clayton for Elizabeth's apology, for Clayton's apology to Elizabeth, and it's very interesting some of the things she said. So let's give it a listen, and I want to hear your reactions. She's got the teacup ready. I love it. And the frog.
Tonight on The Bachelor, I was sent home, but there's one thing that I wanted to address before I give my final goodbye. And that is this, Clayton's apology to Elizabeth that he posted on his Instagram stories a couple weeks ago. As you can see, he said that if he would have known what was going on, he would have sent Shanae home immediately. However, let me take you back to this night. After the Baywatch date, Clayton chose to spend our time asking me about the drama in the house and why Shanae felt so bullied in the mansion. And I explained to him, word for word, that I would never want anyone to feel bullied. However, when someone is mocking and making fun of someone's mental disabilities, that's crossing the line, and I don't want to surround myself with people like that, so I'm not gonna go out of my way to be their best friend. At the end of the day, everything happens for a reason and no hard feelings. However, you knew and you kept her.
Wow. Oh my God. This is the tea. I mean, she got sent home, so maybe her contract is up. I mean, do we think she's violating the contract? Do we think she's crossing the line? Is she trying to get clout? Is she trying to hold Clayton accountable? Fiona, I see you making a face. What are your thoughts on this?
I hope she doesn't get into any trouble because I love this. And I feel like we barely got to know her this season. And now I'm like, okay, she's fun. I like this energy. I wish we would have seen more from her. I really do feel like this Shanae stuff has gotten so out of control. And Shanae has sat down in those interview clips and literally spelled out for everyone how horrible her intentions have been, you know, from faking an apology to getting people sent home, all of the things we keep talking about. And I did appreciate the fact that Clayton, you know, came forward and apologized to Elizabeth. But I feel like if I was a girl who was sent home and who felt like their time was negatively impacted, I would be really frustrated knowing that he knew just how bad things were and continued to let her run wild. I feel like she's trying to hold him accountable because honestly, he's making fun of himself on Twitter, watching these episodes back, acting like he doesn't know what's going on. And there's a certain element of that I think has got to suck for him and I empathize with. But we know he sat down and had a lot of conversations with women about Shanae because we heard the women saying, I'm going to tell him this, I'm going to tell him that. So I love this energy from her. And I'm curious if he's going to respond or just let it kind of blow over. But I don't know why. I don't know her that well. I feel like maybe it's just a gut instinct, but I don't feel like she's out for clout. I just think this whole thing has got to have been so frustrating to live through at the time and then to watch back as the show airs that she probably just felt like she had to say something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that either. I just like to give the devil's advocate. I like to give the other side of it, but I totally agree with you. I really enjoyed her TikTok. I think it was well adequately, like just she knew what she was doing. As a TikTok creator myself, I would have cut it a little bit so it was a little faster, but I'm glad we were able to kind of like hear the whole thing. It was a little bit slow. We like speed on TikTok. Mariah, what do you think of all the girls kind of coming for Clayton? Because Sierra also put on her Instagram that, you know, Clayton did have red flags and she chose to ignore them because she was optimistic. So it's not like Lindsay's the only one speaking out. What can we expect, do you think, from at the Women Tell All? There's a lot of angry girls and I mean, it's going to be worse than Pilot Pete, I think.
Clayton he frustrates me now, not to the same degree that Pilot Pete did, but I kind of do want to see, I don't necessarily want to see the women come for him, but at the same time I do. Like, have been so frustrated with him. And I was thinking when I was watching the most recent episode, if I was a contestant and this man repeatedly chose a woman who was creating crazy amounts of toxic energy in the house, we were always talking about her. She was always taking special time away from building those connections, which is the whole point of the show, then I myself would question, okay, well, is a man who can be this easily manipulated or be interested in a woman like this my man? No, I don't think so. Like, I was literally thinking I would send myself home. I'd be like, listen, bro, if this is what you're interested in, that's fine, but we're clearly not on the same page. We clearly don't want the same things. So I think that he should be called out on it, but at the same time, like, playing devil's advocate, everyone is entitled to learn and experience the way that they naturally do, whatever comes natural to them. And like we were just talking about, I do think that he was kind of not manipulated, but coerced into keeping her on the show by producers because it is interesting content.
It is. It definitely is. And we'll kind of see what happens when the Women Tell All comes. And I mean, there's a lot of social media action coming from the girls. It seems like they're speaking out more, which is different than we've seen in the past. And it honestly it's better for the show because it gets more perspectives and it gets more of us talking. I don't like when the women are silent. And I'm surprised that no one has left yet either. That's a good point. Why aren't more women just walking away? And, honestly, if I was there, maybe I would stay just because now they're starting to travel. Like, if it was Katie's season or Matt's season and you're stuck in that hotel for 3 months, then I would, probably leave. But now they're going to Toronto, Canada. They're going to Houston. I think they're going to go more international. So there's exciting things coming up. So maybe I would actually stay in the house and put up with Clayton. But let's keep moving on because we are in Toronto, Canada this week, and it's time for Gabby to get her one-on-one date. All the girls seemed very excited for her, except Shanae. Gabby and Clayton spent the day walking around Toronto, and during the night portion of the one-on-one date, Gabby opened up to Clayton about not having a relationship with her mom anymore. She hopes to reconnect with her mom in the future, but unfortunately she is unable to because it came too difficult. Fiona, what are your thoughts on Gabby, the date, her connection with Clayton? Give me your spiel on Gabby. She's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I've been really liking Gabby, and I was super excited that she got a one-on-one because I feel like we've had a lot of kind of fun one-linery moments from her, but this was our chance to really, really get to know her. I think she's a really sweet girl. She seemed very genuine. I do see a connection between them. I thought it was really a sweet, genuine moment when she opened up about her mother to Clayton. At this point, we all know the dinner portion of the one-on-one date, something's coming out, right? There's gonna be tears, you're unloading whatever it is. And I always get kind of nervous for those moments. Sometimes I feel like Clayton is very awkward in them, but I feel like she and him had a really genuine rapport going in that tough moment and in the lighter moments on the date. I don't know if I see her as his soulmate. I kind of keep coming back to Rachel and some other connections that I think are maybe a little stronger. But I really liked her, and I thought that this was a very successful date overall. I hope she sticks around because I think she's really entertaining.
Oh, she's sticking around. She got that rose on the one-on-one date. And I mean, it looks like there might be an argument between them two in the teaser for later on in the season. So I think we're going to see a lot more of Gabby. She's just very real and sweet. And she put up an Instagram post how she takes her time to open up, but she was so glad to open up on last night's episode. And, she's gotten a lot of positive feedback. I think she's one of our favorites this season, overall. And I think we're going to see her in paradise if Clayton doesn't pick her. But I do think that her and Clayton have a connection. It's stronger than Clayton's with Serene. So I wouldn't be surprised if she made it to the top 2 or 3 or even could be the winner. Mariah, what do you think of Gabby? How far do you think she's going to go?
I love Gabby. I want to be friends with her. Gabby, if you're watching this, I live in LA, girl. If you live in LA, let's meet up, please, because I love you. I don't know that I see Gabby making it to the very end with Clayton. It does look like, based off of like the rest of the season's promo, that there's gonna be some trouble between the two of them. Of course, that could just be like the way they edited things. But I do think they have a good connection. I'm not sure that it is a forever, we are so romantically in love. And we've already talked about this with Serene. I think there are other people within Bachelor Nation who would be a better match for her. And I'm going to fumble on names, but Zachary and Fiona, I know you guys are very familiar with names. So Michael A., I think her and Michael A., right? Or
the father?
remind me his name. Yes, love. I think they would be really cute. Or the cat suit guy from Katie's season.
Connor the cat?
Connor the cat. I was thinking of the two of I think of the two of them for her all the time. So no, I don't think she's gonna end up walking away with a ring on her finger from Clayton. I do see a connection there. I think she's definitely gonna make it far. But only time will tell. I want to see her on Bachelor because I'm selfish and I love her and I want to keep seeing her on my TV.
Yeah.
I actually see her with Justin from Katie's season. Ooh. I think that they would be a really cute fit and a hot couple. And I'm excited to see what happens with Gabby because now that we know she's not, talking to her family and, there is those dynamics, I think it could make for a compelling hometown date. When we get there. And we know that she previously dated Dean Ungler in the past, and he had a very interesting hometown date with his family on Rachel Lindsay's season. So I understand, that why they dated. It seems like they have a lot in common. Gabby's a cool girl, so we need to see more of her on TV. And we're going to move on to the group date, but I want to remind everyone we're going to be doing a Q&A at the end of today's live in just a few minutes. So if you guys have any questions, opinions, predictions, leave them in the live chat right now, and we will be getting to them very, very soon. On the group date, it was a good old roast hosted by comedian Russell Peters. The women included Susie, Serene, Marlena, Eliza, Mara, Rachel, Sarah, Teddy, a few others. Fiona, how would you fare on this group date with the roast? Because I know I could dish it, and sometimes I can't take it, so I feel like it would be a little tricky for me.
I can't dish it or take it. This is like my worst nightmare. I feel like this would be so stressful. I feel like I could maybe roast the guy, like coming up with like some Clayton roast. I mean, right now at home, I feel pretty comfortable roasting Clayton. So like, I feel like that would be easier, but I hate confrontation. So the thought of just picking a woman in the house at random to like make fun of her and then have to like face her later, that is truly my worst nightmare. I think I would fake like an illness to get out of it. Not even kidding. I just could not do it.
No, I know you couldn't, but I'm sure you would come up with something, like, at least for Clayton, like, on the stage. Maybe you wouldn't roast the girls, but I think you could do it. Mariah, I don't know. Could you roast? I feel like you would be really shy as well.
I don't know that I could dish it. I definitely couldn't take it. I mean, I'd put on like a happy, smiling, laughing face because I don't want to seem like a big baby, but really on the inside I'd be crying and like, do they really think that about me? Because I'm such a two and I'm an empath and I care what everybody thinks more than I should. But yeah, I think maybe I'm with you, Fiona. I would dish on Clayton on The Bachelor. I feel like that might be a little bit more safe. I mean, if I was in this house with someone like Shanae, then yeah, I would probably toss in a couple about Shanae too. But at the end of the day, I feel like I would lose sleep over it because I'm very much a believer. And if you don't know someone super well, you don't know what's going on with them internally. And I would I don't know. I would feel too bad. I need to get some tougher skin though, probably.
I mean, a roast is meant for good fun. It's, you're supposed to like make fun of people you love in an endearing way. We all know I would thrive at this. I would be really sassy. I'd probably make a few people cry. But I think that it's a fun date. And a lot of the girls roasted Shanae, and she was not even there. And Marlena had everyone laughing, and there was a bit of tension between Mara and Sarah that came out of nowhere. Sarah referred to Mara as a cougar and made fun of the gap in her teeth, while Mara made fun of Sarah for being the youngest in the house, said she could babysit her. I mean, I'm glad that we're getting drama with someone besides Shanae. I also would have loved to see Shanae on this group date, but Fiona, are you siding with Sarah or Mara? You have to pick a side, because I know it was a small thing, but we need some drama to discuss.
I really like Mara. I think her commentary is always on point. I think she's funny. And in a weird way, I know she had some like intense roasting jokes, whatever, but I
Mm-hmm.
feel like they came from more of a defensive place. And I don't know if
Because she
she would
went
have
second.
gone, yeah, as ugly as she did had Sarah, like she threw on that insult at the end. I forget what she said, but it felt kind of like out of
It
left
was
field,
tough.
less rehearsed. And I think that that was her kind of reacting a little bit to Sarah, really kind of being that she picked on her appearance, she picked on her age, she
Yeah.
called her a cougar, not in like a positive way. And I just thought that they were really cheap shots. So I'm here for Mara, and I'm curious if these two are going to continue to beef, because I think based on Sarah's
I hope
reaction
so.
in the crowd, it didn't look good. I think that they struck a chord here.
I hope they continue to beef. Give me something besides the Shanae drama. I felt like Sarah did start it. And Mara is funny, but I feel like I like Sarah a little bit more, and I feel like I like her for Clayton more. Mariah, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, in terms of Clayton, I think Sarah and Clayton have a better connection. I see her going further than Mara, but I do think Sarah took it way too far. I would have thought the whole cougar line was like funny, and if I was Mara, but when someone comes for you on your personal appearance or your physical appearance, I think that's such a low blow. Like, I think that's nasty. Then again, I just said I don't have very thick skin, and I would not be able to diss it or take it. But I think that I liked Mara's. I thought hers was fine. Like, yeah, she is. Sarah is the youngest in the house. I don't think that was a super like low blow for her to mention that. But the last thing she said I don't remember exactly what it was, but she called her the B word, and I was like, okay, like that seemed a
Yeah.
little too defensive.
Yeah.
Like, let me take a hard like blow at you real quick, and she didn't need to do that.
Mhm.
I thought her like roast was appropriate and funny and light. I didn't think that it was a super low blow until the very end, and I was like, okay, girl, now you just made it personal. Like you took it. It's not a roast
Yeah.
anymore. You just insulted her.
Yeah.
It's not what you say, it's how you say it. So it's really about insulting people with like a comedic tone that you can get away with
Tone.
saying like awful things. And Marlena, I thought, did a good job. She definitely won the roast. Marlena is killing all of these group dates, and Clayton is really starting to notice her, and she's getting some time on, the night portion of the group date. And we also saw his connection with Rachel form a little bit more. Rachel got the group date rose, and I really like Teddy. I feel like she's in it as well. Fiona, you said you think Rachel is his top pick. Is there anyone else you really like or think that is going to go far? And why do you think Rachel? Like, what about her do you think is what Clayton wants?
I feel like Clayton needs someone who is really, really sweet, but also confident. And that's the energy I get from Rachel. She's very girly, she's very warm, she's very loving, but she's not unsure of herself. Like she's willing to sort of spell out how she feels with him. And I think that he needs that. I think that he needs someone who is going to be good at communicating their feelings, because otherwise I think he may not be able to like pick up on them and understand. I do get a little Pilot Pete energy from him. I don't think he's like the most intuitive. And I think that their date, I don't know what it was about it in particular, but I felt a spark watching it, and I don't think I've super felt otherwise. Susie has the very long blonde hair, correct? It's like very wavy.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Mhm.
really like her a lot. I think she has great energy. I don't know that their connection is something that I'm like, oh my God, die for. But I would love to see her and him get some more time together, just because out of the girls, she's someone who stood out to me. I think she's a good heart. I think she's smart. I think she's trying to avoid the drama. When they do catch her talking about the drama, I think she's coming from like a mature place. Like I find myself agreeing with her. So she's just someone I like. But Rachel, I don't know. There's something about her. I knew she was getting that group date rose. It just made sense.
I love Susie. I like Rachel. I haven't like fallen in love with her yet, but Susie I think is very wise and mature and kind and sweet and just very genuine. So I'm really here for Susie. Mariah, who are some of your favorites? Who is your top 3 or 4?
I agree with Fiona. I do think Rachel is my number 1 pick for him based off of, I think Clayton's a great match for her and she's a great match for him. And I see them like later down the line, married, kids, having their own barbecues with friends over type situation. Now, I hate to be the person that's like, oh, I agree with that. I agree with that too. But I do.
Yeah.
Susie is so amazing. She has this incredible personality and energy that just makes you want to be around her. So I do see Clayton falling in love with her. But at the same time, I feel like she has this energy that Clayton doesn't necessarily match. And I want to see her with someone that really matches that energy and that humor and that kind of excitement for life. And so I'm not sure that I like Clayton for her. And maybe I'm biased because I do know Susie, not super, super well, but I know her and I'm like, I want her to find her soulmate in this experience. And I don't think that that's Clayton. I do think it's going to be Rachel, Susie, who's my third?
Gabby and Serene is my top 4.
I would say Gabby just because I love their connection. Serene could be anybody's like top 4 because Serene is so incredible. But I didn't see that like love connection between them yet. So I'm going to say the top 3, Gabby, Susie, Rachel.
Do you think Susie would be the next Bachelorette?
I can see her being the next Bachelorette because, listen, Susie's getting a ton of screen time. And it's because she's so engaging and she does so well and it's natural and authentic. It's not her just being like pageanty. You can't see the years of pageant experience on camera. You just see her feeling comfortable in herself and people love her. And I feel like it's reminding me of Hannah Brown. Now, mind you, I wasn't this huge like Hannah Brown fan during, what was it, Colton season, but she got a lot of TV time because she was just very genuine in herself. And I see that with Susie. So I think Rachel's going to end up walking away with Clayton. Susie's going to be the Bachelorette, which I love. Those are my predictions.
And then Gabby will be the it girl in paradise, like the first one to walk on the beach and score like one of the guys. I could see that. I think a lot of people kind of think that. I think that's the general consensus of Bachelor Nation. Let's move on to the 2-on-1 date, and then we're going to open it up to the Q&A, guys. So if you're still listening, put those questions in the live chat. We'll be answering those in just a couple of minutes. The last date of the week was the epic 2-on-1 date with Genevieve and Shanae. The date started. We did not get very far before it was the end of the episode, so we don't know how it's going to play out. We don't know what the tension's going to be. We know Shanae might throw Genevieve in the river at the Niagara Falls, but we just don't know how it's going to go down. We did see the preview. Fiona, why do we think Genevieve got chosen to be on this date? Because we were talking beforehand that she wasn't really involved in a lot of drama.
Yeah, so obviously we've seen the two of them get into it, but that feels like old news at this point. I can't even remember what Shanae did that had people upset. Like, you know what I mean? There's been so many versions of the drama, and I do remember when Genevieve was upset, she was frustrated on behalf of the women and the fact that it was a waste of everyone's time. It wasn't even like she and Shanae had personally gotten into it and had a personal disagreement. So it does feel a little bit random. I have to say, I feel like there is something about Genevieve we don't know that either may have come up within the girls in the house or producers know and they planted with Shanae and said, run with this. Because we've seen in the promo, Clayton accusing her, of being an actor or something. Like Actress. It seems like there is something there that maybe we just haven't had time to get to because there's been so much Shanae chaos. But I feel like they picked her for a reason. Either it's because we've seen her get fiery with Shanae before, or maybe it's because she's super eloquent, super smart, has a good head on her shoulders, and is the woman who can finally get Clayton to see the light. And that's why they picked her. I don't know. It's either a setup and she's about to get exposed and Shanae's going to live to see another day, or she's just the woman for the job. It does seem random at the end of the day, but I guess we just have to trust production. I don't know.
Yeah, there's definitely something about Genevieve that they put her on this date for a reason. They can poke at her, they can get a reaction, they can get the biggest, feud. There's something about her, and we're gonna see that explored next week. As far as where Genevieve and Clayton's connection is at, I don't see it. I don't think it's there. I don't see them together. And I feel like Shanae and Clayton have more in common and have talked more. So part of me thinks he's leaning towards Shanae because they have more of a connection. Mariah, who do you think will come out victorious on the 2-on-1 date?
I don't know. I feel like because I don't want this to happen, what will happen is Shanae will con her way into another week or whatever, a couple days on the show. And I hate to see Genevieve go. I don't see a connection with either one of them. I don't see a connection between Genevieve and Clayton because I don't really recall many times that they've even spent together. And I don't see a connection between Clayton and Shanae because Shanae's a faker. Like every moment she has spent with him has been a production. It's been phony. It's been fake. There's no way that it's a connection between the two of them because they seem like totally different people. So I don't know who's going to end up victorious. I just think Shanae has more experience in manipulating and lying and putting on a show. So I'm worried that she is going to con her way into staying. And if I hear this girl say, I've sent a third girl home, like I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to be one of those people that DMs her and be like, you're driving me crazy on the show. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, in this angle, it looks like Shanae has the rose. Obviously, it's just the angle, and he's handing it out. But I mean, we'll have to kind of see what happens. It's going to be good TV. We haven't had a 2-on-1 in a couple of years. They kind of put it away in the Bachelor franchise, and just kind of had people at rose ceremonies talk when there's been confrontation, like what happened with Elizabeth and Shanae and Jasenia and MJ. So it's been a minute, but there has been some epic 2-on-1 dates on The Bachelor over the past decade. So I think it's going to be a really good date. And we're going to open it up to our Q&A. So questions, opinions, predictions, anything going on with Clayton season or just in Bachelor Nation as a whole. And let us know. Now is the time to sound off. We have our first one. Fiona, do you want to take it?
Sure. So this is from Sona, and she says, I'm from Ohio, and I feel embarrassed over Shanae. She's awful. She's not that cute either. She's evil. What is wrong with Clayton if he's that into her? He is mental. So many good girls there. I mean, that's the thing that I kind of keep coming back to is there are better women that he doesn't have every conversation with that person be, did you do this? Did you misbehave? Like part of this makes me think that he just seeks out trouble, that he's someone who runs towards red flags, like he's attracted to them. And that's kind of everything that their connection is based off of, because at least from what we've seen, almost every conversation they have is her defending herself or her saying she feels bullied or her saying that she feels, like she's been singled out by women in the house. Like there's not a lot of connection there. I haven't seen them like laugh about anything. So I'm with you. I don't get it.
Yeah, and that was my point earlier, is that there's no rival with Shanae. It's like it was Elizabeth, but it doesn't seem like there's an argument. It doesn't seem like anything she's saying is making sense because we're not seeing any of the girls be mean to her. Maybe they're like being cold with her, but it's probably just because they want to protect their energy and space. And Shanae seems like a lot. I want to know if there's anyone in the house that is close with Shanae. Like she has to be having late night chats and breakfast with someone. It can't be all of the girls against her. So it'll be interesting to see if anyone has her back. GH Girl says, with Lindsay posting that TikTok, I've seen other contestants post things like that on Instagram and TikTok, and producers don't care. Yeah, I kind of think that the producers are easing up a little bit. I think that they know that the more attention and buzz on social media will bring viewers into the show. So I think that's probably why they're being a little bit less strict with what the girls are allowed to post. But something interesting I've realized is that the girls like spill the tea after they get eliminated. So that's kind of like when it's like allowed to say something. And we were talking about this before. I'm worried that Lindsay is not going to get invited to the Women Tell All now because she spilled the tea on Clayton and because they probably don't want all of the girls coming for Clayton. So I think it's kind of hot water because they don't invite everyone to the tell-all anymore. And we all know that if you want to stay on The Bachelor, you gotta go to the tell-all and make a name for yourself, so they invite you to Paradise. And Lindsay might have just ruined her opportunity of that by doing that TikTok. Do you think that, Mariah? Are we on the same page?
Definitely a possibility, but I would hate that because I tune in to, I don't think the after the final rose, or I'm sorry, I don't think that the women tell all should just be women attacking each other and like, why'd you do this? I didn't like that you did this.
Yeah.
I think, like that's what they were subjected to their entire experience. I think it should be an opportunity for each and every woman who went through that experience to communicate whatever they felt with Clayton, including Lindsay. And I would hate for her to be excluded from that because she decided to tell us her truth. I mean, I think all of us as viewers like to see those things. It doesn't make me not want to watch The Bachelor anymore. So they should totally have her on.
And I like that Lindsay spoke up for it, and I want to make that clear. I'm Team Lindsay. I think that she is funny, and I think that we should have got more of her. She didn't get much of an airtime. Terrence is one of our regulars, so he says, it's not all that random. Not only did Genevieve get into it with her, but both her and Sierra plotted together against Shanae. So this is where we're getting the other side. Like, did you see that, Fiona? Did you think Sierra and Genevieve were plotting, and when that scene was like through the hotel wall when she was eavesdropping?
No. Like, the thing is, it's so hard because what we've heard out of Shanae's mouth, what we've seen her say, the situations we've seen her manipulate, I feel like the other women have reacted like really not from an aggressive place. They're all just like being honest. They're not like plotting against her. They're not creating narratives that aren't there. They're literally taking her behavior and saying it's not okay. And at the end of the day, her behavior really hasn't been okay. So it's hard because I just don't see her being bullied by other women. And I don't see it being like how you were saying before, her side versus someone else's side. It's her behavior versus the way everybody else sort of unanimously has reacted to it. But yes, at the end of the day, when you look at the women who are still here, because let's face it, she sent the people home that she's wanted sent home. Genevieve does make sense. They did get into it. They did have it out in front of the rest of the girls. But just the way that they reacted to the fact that they were on a 2-on-1, like arms weren't crossed, like they were so kind of chill about the whole thing. So it does still feel a little odd, but it's not completely random.
And I just can't wait for the women to all, because I want to see what Shanae is going to do. Like, are they going to hold her backstage? They're obviously going to give her a hot seat. Mariah, do you think she's going to be apologetic? Is she going to be like, yeah, I'm an actress? Like, what Shanae do you think we're going to get at this tell-all? And do you think that they'll invite her to Paradise?
I think that we are going to get a full performance out of Shanae. I think we are going to be the Claytons. And she is going to be trying to manipulate us and be a victim. And I think she's going to be putting on a show. I think she will definitely have some prepared things that she's going to say and answers. And I don't think we're going to get anything genuine from her. But honestly, even if she told us like, I am really sorry for the way that I acted. I reflected a lot on my behavior and I've changed. Why would we believe that? Because we just watched this episode where she gave this like emotional apology and opened up to these women. And then after was like, what a great performance. Give me the Oscar.
Yeah.
Like, so none of us would believe it anyways.
Yeah, and that's what's frustrating is because I believed her apology until she went into the confessionals and said she was acting. Like, I genuinely was, like, wanting to give her the benefit of the doubt, especially because you guys know how much I love a villain. But honestly, like, Shanae she hasn't been giving it. She hasn't been giving that, like, fun villain energy. So this is sad for me because I wanted to love her. And I still will always give her the benefit of the doubt just because it is a television show. But I totally hear what you guys are all saying. And I think that pretty much wraps up today's live. So, Fiona, predictions for next week?
Oh, I don't want to say it. I really don't. But I am worried that Shanae is going to live to see another day. I feel like just that promo alone has made me nervous. But I feel like at the end of the day, we're getting pretty far into the season. So I think next week is really when we're going to see like Frontrunners solidified, and really, really strong connections start to emerge. We know they've been promoting the heck out of it. We know he's going to be in love with 3 women by the end of this. So I think the romance is going to need to like really pick up the pace. because otherwise, like, when is he falling in love? So I think we're going to start to see that next week for sure.
Yeah, and Mariah, you might not know everyone's name for the people who are not getting airtime, but is there anyone you think is on the chopping block for next week? Because there is a few girls who we have not gotten to know very well, and we are already halfway through the season.
I'm like trying to run through them in my mind right now.
There's like Mara, Eliza.
I don't think Mara
Hunter
is going to stay very long. I don't see Mara staying much longer because I don't see a connection there. I mean, I think she's great, but I don't see a connection there at all. And it's not because she's older. There's just like, there's nothing there that's like really keeping her there. So I think she'll probably go. I don't know.
The
See,
blonde,
the thing is,
she hasn't been getting a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot. There is a handful of women that like they're totally hidden in the background. You don't ever see them have any moments with Clayton, and they're probably just kept on. Like the women that he has connections with, we know about them. Okay, we know because we see them. They're like giving interviews all the time. We see their moments with Clayton. We know who's going to be sticking around for a couple more episodes, and we know who's going to like filter out.
Yes. And we'll be back next week to talk about The Bachelor. So if you guys missed the live, be sure to comment your predictions, your opinions in the comment section down below, and make sure to give our channel a subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss out on any future videos. Also follow us on Twitter at Shared News. We're active on there. We live tweet. That is everything we have for you guys today. As always, I am your host, Zachary Reality, joined by Fiona Zering and Mariah Davis. Our social media handles are on the screen right now, so come over, give us a hello, give us a follow, and that's all we have. So we will catch you guys in the next one, and have a great rest of your week. Bye.